Okay, he quickened the pace, it's the lesson to wait. He taking the train and he out of this place. Pills on pills, it's the lesson of pain. He dreaming, but when will he wake? When will he break? I guess all he can do is keep lowering the gas. The crown, the gold kind of blurring.
What's going on, nomads, party people, and strangers everywhere across the internet? My name is V, you know, like the letter, and today's episode of Nomadic Opinions had to really be considered over a long amount of time, because for the most unusual reason, this came from my job, oddly enough. This time, it's over the whole gaming franchise of one of the biggest selling points of Nintendo, Pokemon. Courtesy of Game Freak, Pokemon has pretty much been in inception since Red, Blue, technically Yellow, where we've had non-stop incarnations of it from Generation 1 to where we are now in Sun and Moon, soon to be Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. But there is an underlying problem that a lot of veteran players have kind of had over the entirety of this entire franchise.
What the fuck is that?
Overly saturated repetition.
Ooh, this is gonna get good.
The overly saturated repetition from the games from point A to point B was okay for, I would say, the first 2 to 3 generations, because it was basically trying to elaborate on some stuff, doing a little bit of switches here and there for certain parts of the game. Just basically doing the same combat system over and over again, and then have it seep into your mind about this is what the formula is and how we're trying to experiment on how the world building aspects are from region to region. But, and I'm not saying this is something that is kept up with all the games. I gave up after Black and White when I got that white dragon. I don't know what the fuck its name is, so I don't know a single thing that's going on now aside from what people tell me and from Let's Players. But I feel like from what I keep hearing, from what I'm always seeing on the internet, and from what a lot of people show me, there hasn't been a lot of change for a lot of people that want a bigger challenge factor over capturing these small little monsters that evolve from increment stage to increment stage. And in that kind of lies a deeper issue, since you kind of have other games that utilize something a lot better in its whole repetition standpoint. Case in point, here is Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. Then another example is Ni no Kuni. And technically anything involving monster that I'm not going to show here. Mostly because there's always at least some kind of difference to how its appeal is. Whether it's a graphics issue or from how the turn-based style actually makes more sense utilization-wise. There's something a little bit more different to this factor, especially since Pokemon is a very lucrative property across many different facilities that Nintendo has pretty much gotten its hands on. Hell, even the anime, from what I can tell from a lot of the fans, is even trying to change up its formula here and there from its budgeting standpoint. It's not making it better for itself, but still. And from where I'm just seeing from the games aspect of the whole repetition of just point A to point B with little challenge factor for those that are veterans from the series from the very beginning, or those that have just kind of picked up from one of the earlier generations to now, there's an underlying issue that I can't really accept or appreciate from Game Freak on this point. Mostly because there has never been anyone that's actually stepped forward and been like, we need a different formula for things. I know a lot of people have that whole thing of change is a terrible thing and they don't like it. Case in point, the Final Fantasy franchise, hating anything involving 12 and 15 to a point about how it changes up its combat system in a way that it's not really their cup of tea, because change is a bad thing.
Hey, bite my glorious golden ass!
But in all seriousness though, guys, there should be a difference in how Pokemon can be handled, since a lot of people want more variations, a lot more story being told, and something that's not fucking stupid in how it's being handled, aside from how the story is upgraded graphically from team to team, where it goes from serious and kind of terrorist-like to a fucking joke.
It's funny because it's true.
So why not have something that's a lot more world building, a lot more intricate, like how certain people at my job pointed out, where you could literally have the biggest region of the entirety of Pokemon, like let's just say it's North America. Instead of having just 8 gyms, you multiply that by 8, or have that go as high as 18 gyms. All with various different things, where if you lose the first time, the roster changes from element types, meaning that you're always on guard to try and change up your teams, or train your characters all the way up to where they would be at a comfortable level, no matter how the whole element or type change is. Aside from that, there's also an actual system of, instead of blacking out, you literally have to leave, go inside maybe a poke van to go into the center and actually see all the treatment options to make it a much more evolved, mature game, since a lot of the people that have grown up with this are kind of tired of the kiddie aspect of where it gets all super cheesy and dumb. Aside from all those aspects, aside from all the notes I've heard from Sun and Moon getting rid of the TM, HM slaves, that's kind of a good thing if you really think about it. You could also do some various different changes to the Elite Four and how the champion system works. When you become the champion, you get instant messages from either real-life players or from bots inside the game that try to challenge you for your title. If you win, it gets you more prize money and a little bit more notoriety in the local paper, letting you actually have property in the game if you want to, where there's actually an aging system with the game, doing real-time counterintuitive thing, giving your character a birthday, actual locations to live, maybe doing an entire relationship system with any rival trainer you come across, making it an actual developed feeling, something that's actually grounded to make you feel invested to keep up with this franchise with each and every installment that follows this entire format. Will Game Freak do this? Will Nintendo do this? Hell no, cause no one wants to do anything different anymore. But it's also coming to a term where, since there's also the whole, I think it was Pokemon Origins with Red and Green, technically, doing the whole changing up aspect to showcase that they actually can do more grounded and adult story with real life stuff added to it to give real leverage to the characters, aspects, and enriching the stuff for veteran fans, to make stuff actually rewarding for those that have kept up with said franchise from start to finish. So, I'm guessing from where I'm coming at this, since I kind of lost my train of thought 5 seconds ago, is that I want to actually come back to the franchise where it's more grounded, where it's actually challenging to those, and where it stops going in that whole E10 plus range for veteran players, because I feel like veterans of any sort of gaming franchise deserves to have a bigger, more evolved standpoint for something. You want to have the whole gaming community take your games to the next level? Take us there yourselves. Don't just hold us by the hand. Guide us forth. Lead us forth. Do something more sophisticated with more finesse. Do something where we actually feel and can tell that you're giving us something that's not a fucking joke. But at the end of the day, this is just my whole silly little minor opinion. You guys have your own right to feel how you feel. I just figured, meh, what's the harm in talking about this? More unique topics are coming up soon, so keep an eye out for those. Ciao for now.